जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೈ
एक्सप्रेस পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন. कृपया ध्यान दियो.
It almost felt like Delhi didn't want to party hard tonight, but then Axar came in, put on those lights, put on the music and started the party. Welcome back to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher. I have Lisa and Simon with me. Decent total. Delhi should be happy with what they've got.
I think so. Look, the surface was green in the middle, but then those ends, it certainly turned early on. And I think if the dew is not too bad, I think this is a very, very competitive total. I think the Mumbai might find it hard to chase this down. And 3 quality spinners in the Delhi lineup, Mustafizur as well. So they've got guys that can take pace off it, and that's what we saw that was the key for Berendorf in particular. Piyush bowled really well. He bowled like a 19-year-old, not a 39-year-old. I don't think he's 39, but yeah, and brilliant from Axar. And again, Davey just lost players around him, at least, didn't he? It wasn't easy for him.
No, I think the intent initially from Prithvi Shaw and Warner was good. And even Manish Pandey as well. He was timing the ball nicely. We were thinking, okay, this is a decent start, good foundations. Now they can build on it. And then as soon as a couple of wickets fell, that middle order, and we said in the com box, they just weren't strong enough. And Rovman Powell, I don't know whether they now look to Riley Russo, should I say. I think that might be the best change that they can make, because Rovman Powell hasn't really given them anything.
He's become a little bit like Corin Pollard in the latter years. As soon as he comes out to bat, you just bring leg spin on it. If you've got a wrist spinner, you just bring him on, because it's like he's trying to read Braille at the moment. It's just not. There's nothing happening at all, and sadly, and he's had a great time of it in the last sort of year or so. He's actually batted really well in international cricket, but he's just not reading it at the moment.
But like Lisa said, Prithvi was looking good. Warner, again, we'll get to his strike rate issues, because he tried batting right-handed when the free hit came on. Didn't work. The strike rate remained the same. Prithvi looked good. He went away. Yash and Manish didn't make really much of the opportunity. But until, of course, Axar came on and started the party. So Patel to the rescue.
Yeah, look, he's such a terrific cricketer. I've got a lot of time for Axar Patel. I think in all forms of the game, to me, he's just one of those guys that he's a real street fighter. 54 from 25, great strike rate, finds the boundary. Look, when you look at his strike rate, I think his strike rate in international cricket's around 150 in international T20s. Over 100 in international one-day cricket. He's striking about 130 over his IPL career, but hasn't had a huge amount of opportunity. I think he's a guy that could probably bat 6 consistently in any side, and I think this wicket will suit him with the ball as well.
Lisa, this is probably his first IPL 50, if I'm not wrong. And when he was younger in his village in Nadiad, he used to be called the Jai Surya of Nadiad, because he used to rate himself as a really good batter. He's shown it to us. Why aren't they bringing him up?
Yeah, well, there's an argument to be said that he plays spin so well. So given what the surface was kind of producing and how effective the spinners were, could they have swapped with Rovman Powell?
Yeah.
Almost go, and this is where you need your dugout, your coaching staff to kind of assess the conditions and go, okay, maybe just this game we need to change it. This isn't the pitch for Rovman. Okay, Axar, you actually have been timing the ball well. Out you go, son. Here, have a few more balls. And we often talk about you want your best batters to face more deliveries. True. And if there's one guy who's seeing the ball well, understanding the conditions and plays spin exceptionally well, there is an argument to have put him a little bit higher up. And maybe they'll do that. There's still a long way left in the tournament.
You talk about the Rousseau thing as well. That would give him another left-hand option. Warner at the top, Rousseau at 3, Axar at 5, probably 6, and then a couple of right-handers dotted in between.
We'll just quickly have a look at the batting card, because yes, Axar came to the party. Warner again 51 of 47, Simon. Problem. The strike rate has been a problem, and it continues to be a problem.
Yeah, listening to the commentary as well, there was more intent. So I felt there was a lot more intent than I've seen in the first couple of games. So I was happier with that. And yet again, though, he just lost partners at crucial times, and he's feeling the pressure of them not winning. Obviously, the first 3 games, I think. So he's thinking, I've got to stay there. And you look at that opening combination was good, and Warner at that stage was going at way better than a runner ball when Prithvi got out. And then Manish Pandey played well, but then they just, every time Warner probably wanted to go, they just lost wickets. And then that clump through the middle in Doull, Powell and Yadav, that was sort of the key time. Look, it's not a great innings, but it's not a bad innings. You know,
I think you've got to sometimes, when you look at the numbers, you can forget about, okay, who was the opposition, where were they playing, what was happening around. It's a little bit like Shikhar as well in the previous game. He was only going 30 off 30 and then he caught up his strike rate. Now, you don't want Dave Warner to get out at 30 off 30. You'd rather this, given where the team is at the moment. So I think you can't be too critical of him, given the situation of where Delhi are at.
And see how Mumbai go. You know, if they win, if Delhi win, it's not a bad innings. If they get, if they lose in the 15th, 16th over, then you might dissect it a little bit more. But I'm prepared in this instance to just wait until 2 sides are battered, because I don't think this is a very easy surface at all.
Lisa, we were talking about Warner and he looked like he really wanted this, because once he got out, he was like really angry. So clearly he's desperate to get his form back, get his strike rate up.
Look, he's a competitor. He's used to being successful in India in the IPL. All the families seem to have flown over. I saw his kids there. So, that's extra motivation. Not that these guys need it, but that's it. You want to perform well in front of your family as well. So he's the type of guy that loves to lead from the front. You can see that in just how he runs between wickets, how he is in the field. He never gives up. He's charging around the boundary. So he knows that this isn't his best performance and he's not in the nick that he would like, but he's trying to fight his way out of it. Still hasn't quite landed the final blow just yet, but I don't reckon he's that far away.
In the pre-match we were talking about, or rather, I'll take this on me. I was complaining about Mumbai's bowling and how without Archer it just doesn't do it for me. So Rohit Sharma heard us. He said, enough of this rubbish. I'll show you what we can do. Because they were very impressive. They used the conditions very well. Of course, Piyush Chawla was the pick of the bowlers. And like you said, they used the pace well. Yeah,
they did. Behrendorff was very good. I think coming back with those off-pace deliveries was excellent. I was surprised that Hrithik bowled 4 overs in the end. I think he did his job getting Prithvi Shaw out. And for Rohit to keep going back to him inside that power play, I was a little bit surprised at that. So plenty of bowling options, but Piyush was outstanding. So that to me tells us a little bit about the surface. And when you've got in all fairness, Hrithik is a part-time spinner more so than a real genuine spinner, I guess. I'm loath to sort of say that he's too much part-time, but when he's turning it square, I think that Lalit Yadav and Kuldeep and Axar will be fairly comfortable walking out. I think they'll licking their lips a touch,
like Simon said, he's rolled the clock back because Piyush Chawla definitely doesn't look the age he says he is. I guess used his experience very well on this pitch as well.
Yeah, great understanding of the conditions, being able to set up batters as well. Bowling your leggy, getting them feeling for the ball, and then bowl you wrong and go between bat and pad, like perfect deliveries for a leg spinner. So, that kind of experience is so handy, and we've seen that already. Amit Mishra as well, he's already had a good performance. So the spinning tracks allow these older guys to kind of really spin their web. And he provided some important wickets, important overs. But then on the flip side, I think Delhi have got just as good as spinners as well.
True. But another person who was very impressive is Meredith, because he came into the game today and he bowls really quickly when it's needed, because Maxwell's spoken about how he doesn't like playing him in the nets. He's hit him around, but he's used the slower ball very well today.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I think you mentioned it pre-game, Lisa, about the fact that he probably just didn't have too many different variations in his armoury. And he's gone away and he's worked on that. He realises that he needs a couple of options of slower ball. I think that the best in the business have at least two slow ball options, whether it be a split finger, whether it be an off break, a back of the hand, anything. You've just got to go away and work on those, particularly in the shortest format of the game. I think they're crucial. So he's worked hard on it. He's got pace. There's no issue with that, but it's just about developing those other skills.
And I think they used him correctly.
Yeah.
So I don't think he should bowl in the power play
Right.
unless just because I think there's only 2 fielders out, and sometimes it just goes, and then all of a sudden you're chasing your tail. Whereas they used him, out of the power play. He had more protection, and then he came in at the end to kind of hone in at that stumps and picked up wickets.
Another area of concern for me, especially and for all cricket lovers, is what happened to Surya. I don't think we have an update on that. But with Surya, we don't know if he's going to come in or not come in. But how should Mumbai go about this chase now?
Go on, Lise.
I think I like how you just
A whole
had the
new
ball at
meaning
me,
to keep your eye on the ball too, isn't it, man? Sorry.
I'm just trying to think, which eye was it again?
It was
the
his
left.
Left eye,
It was
yeah.
his
So
left.
it's that
your
one.
lead, yeah,
It's that
yeah.
one. It's not
The
good.
lead
I mean, you kind of, as a right-handed batter, you kind of want your right eye to take over a little bit, but your left does take in a lot of information. Look, I think they've just got to forget what's happened and just play their natural game. Very easy to say. I think they need to absolutely capitalise on the first 6 overs, because once the ball gets a little bit older and the 5 fielders are out, and if there's no dew, this chase is going to be tricky. I don't think it's as easy as people think it is.
3 spinners. I'm guessing they'll open with Axar. He doesn't mind bowling with a new ball. I would say that either he or Lalit Yadav, maybe because Ishan, the left-hand option, they might look to open with Lalit Yadav, but I think Axar is probably the slightly better option, because if they pick up Rohit early, there's no reason why they can't get right into this lineup. And what impact play do they bring in? Do they bring in another seamer? They don't. I looked through. I don't think they.
Can we have a look at
they
the
don't
impact list
have-
again if we can?
yeah.
Because they don't have a spinner.
No, they don't have a
there.
spinner in that lineup, do they?
Praveen Dubey
Seamers-
is a leggy, but he's not really had too much experience in.
Yeah.
So,
And I think with 3 spinners already, they might look to Mukesh and just say, we'll just give ourselves that little bit of bowling option, maybe at the back end, if we need someone.
Well, and because they've got the fizz as well,
Yeah,
that's almost
that pays
it's almost your 4th spinner,
Yeah,
really. Depending on where they use him, I'd say it'd be the back end, from probably 8 overs onwards. That's how I
Very
would
difficult
use
to
him.
get away.
Yeah.
and do you think we'll see probably Tim David coming in for MI?
I think
Or
it
Stubbs?
depends. It depends on how well they get off. They may use him actually if they're behind the 8 ball and they want someone just to kind of go out there and find some boundaries. What's your thought?
I think the same. I think he's probably a 70% chance of coming in more than Stubbs for mine. He's the guy they went after big time. They wanted him to secure generally that number 4-5 spot or that finishing role for them. Stubbs does a similar job, but I think Tim David's probably the better option at the moment.
You go back to Mumbai when Pollard and David were both playing, and literally David took over his role,
he
and
did.
that saw the end. So they've used him and they've got rid of one of their legends, albeit probably his time. So now it's his opportunity to step up and play that role that Pollard has done for so many years for Mumbai.
We are forgetting one other very important name, the man who brings that smile to the team and then comes and bowls and gets those wickets at a very consistent time, is Kuldeep Yadav.
Yeah, I think this is going to suit Kuldeep. I've seen a bit more development from him over the last couple of years as well, bowling slightly quicker when he needs to. That's been one criticism in the early years of Kuldeep's career, was he just too predictable, too loopy, too slow. But he's been able to develop that slightly quicker one. He can take the ball wide of the right-handers in particular. And I don't mind if he gets really slow to the left-handers, but wide, especially
Drag
if...
them out.
Yeah, drag them out of the crease and drag them wide of off-stump. So he's got those skills. He's developed more as a white ball bowler in the last 2, 3, 4 years. And I think he's a better white ball bowler now than he was 2 or 3, 4 years
Also,
ago.
Lisa, he just likes to play in this environment that keeps him happy. That gets the best out of him. So clearly he's happy in this environment.
Yeah, I think, we were talking a while ago about when Kolkata, and I remember I was commentating one of the games and he was literally in tears, and you never want to see a player in tears and finding it too difficult, almost having the yips. And Kolkata didn't necessarily find the best way for him out of that situation. Changes, has an outstanding year last year. I think, one thing Joy said as well, that you've got Ricky Ponting, who's used to an aggressive wrist spinner in your side. So there's a lot of love for wrist spinners in that coaching setup. So they just know potentially how to manage him. And off the back of last year, he's their X factor, so to speak, in that sense. And I mean, last year he got what, 3, 4, 5 player of the match before, like ridiculous amounts. Yeah.
They don't want him getting none for 25. They don't want that.
Yeah.
He's a 4 for 40 man.
Yeah.
You know, and on a surface like today, he might be a 3 or 4 for 30 guy because it's going to be very difficult. But they want him to take wickets through the middle, and that's his role. It's not about being conservative, and I think he's relished that role as well.
But who's got the advantage, you'll think, with 173 to chase on this pitch? It's a tricky one because it's not too high, and
I think it's about par almost.
Go like that. Just go like that. Go like that. Go like that.
No, don't do that to me. I've been trying to hold my emotions together.
Just for a minute, just go like that. Go like that. Delhi have got the advantage.
Yeah.
Good. I think runs on the board on a tough surface. I
Unless
like
Stu
runs on,
comes
unless
in.
it's really wet.
Yeah.
It's really wet.
I'm sorry, I have
Really,
to.
173.
I mean, you can go for him. There's nothing holding
Okay,
back.
see, the positive thing here is you all didn't get the power play, the predictions right. So maybe this prediction also could be wrong that you all are doing.
That's a good point.
Yeah, see?
Probably.
Just hold on to that.
The last
okay?
time I was wrong twice in one day was 1988.
Okay, so we'll do the power play guesses then because we'll have to see if you're wrong twice.
Oh,
So
power play.
predictions.
It's a low one. It's a low power play. It's a 34.
That low.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
a 34.
Wow.
I'm going to go with Joy's favorite number, 42.
Well, I was going to go 41. So that
Got it first.
No, okay. So I'll go just in between. No, I'll go a little bit more. 45.
Why is that Joy's favourite number?
He has a theory on 42. He thinks that everything in life comes to 42, but he'll give you that theory.
Do you know why? Kolkata, first ever game, Brendan McCullum, number 42.
42.
No, it's some Douglas Adam book reference that he has,
it?
but
Okay.
he can give you more on that
He's
because
purple
enough
through
joy
and
factor
through,
for the day.
okay.
You can't have so many joy factor questions on one day, I think. But well, I've been told that you like your risotto a lot, and they've surprised you and ordered some for you.
I thought the place shut
They
down.
shut down.
Well, Kalol our producer, has found one new place for Simon, so we should go and eat our food quickly. You all go and eat your food, enjoy the game as well, but don't forget to join us at the 10 over point at the Cricbuzz Combox.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೈ
হায়দ্রাবাদ 50 এক্সপ্রেস পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दें